You're tuned in to Holler at the Success Scholar. I'm the Success Scholar, Hakeem Shakur Ami. Thank you all for tuning in, listening in to this wonderful, wonderful broadcast here. Thank you all for tuning in. First, I want to thank last week we had a wonderful, wonderful guest, Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz, joined us on live here, calling in, of course. So I got a wonderful show, lined up. Definitely want to mention condolences to those who lost their life in Vegas just this morning, I believe. You know, just unfortunate reality of the days that we live in. So I just say be vigilant in terms of understanding your environment and keeping awareness. You know, you got to stay sharp out here. So we're going to have a conversation about Black wealth. I mean, and wealth in general, of course, one of my favorite topics, one that needs to be discussed a lot more, of course. And I have in the studio with me brother William Murray.
How you doing, my brother? And thank you for the opportunity. And you know, you talking about one of my favorite subjects. It's not the fact that it's about money, but it's money. Wealth ain't always money, but you know, your health is your greatest wealth.
I see. Yeah. Well, definitely, brother. And just to let everybody know, this Saturday, I was in Baltimore at the Reginald Lewis Museum, and you know, I usually have copies of his book, so we're going to talk about Reginald Lewis' book, While White Guys Have All the Fun.
One of the best books I've ever read. I mean, I've got a library that for most libraries the same.
Wow.
And that book is one of the top, I would say one of my top 10 books of all the great books I've read.
Beautiful.
Must read.
Yeah,
must read.
Absolutely. And this gentleman, he was around campus CEO, Dr. Randal Pinkett. Oh, I didn't show it up there. Dr. Randal Pinkett's book. And this is Campus CEO. I highly recommend for various college students, of course. And, you know,
but just about him, if you ever get a chance to hear him speak, do not pass up that opportunity. That young brother, well, I say young brother to me.
Right.
That brother, man, is brilliant. He is truly brilliant.
And this is his other one. I'm not sure which. I think this one came first and this one came second. But Black Faces in White Places.
Yes.
So this is his second book, and he's working on another one. And this is a local giant. And I recall I did not get a chance to complete the conversation, you know, a few weeks ago in the DC area where they were talking about gentrification. And, you know, I didn't mention Donna Peebles. You know about that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So he has the largest Black-owned real estate company in maybe the world, but certainly in the United States. So I saw something on that. So definitely, these are some of the you know, books that I'm going to read as I get my notes out and prepare. But I went to a you know, a wealth diversity workshop at the Reginald Lewis Museum, and I got this report, and this is based upon you know, some studies in terms of the differences between that. This is a little small 30-page thing, and I'll just hold it up. And what's his name? Several people. Dietrich Muhammad was passing these out. He was one of the presenters there. There are several other individuals. Sorry, I don't have the names of the different individuals there, but I recall we talked briefly, he and I, about Thomas Shapiro that wrote the book Black Wealth, White Wealth.
You're right.
But this is a report. But I'll just start a little bit with that. Talk about the racial wealth divide in the middle class. Let me see where I wanted to. Let me just open up here. In our 2016 report, the ever-growing gap without change, African American and Latino families won't match white wealth for centuries. We showed that if the current trends continue, it will take 228 years for the average Black family to reach the level of wealth white families own today. For the average Latino family, matching the wealth of white families, it will take 84 years.
You know, there's a reason. Here's what we've got to learn to understand. That's the reason I tell people, start working on building a legacy. See, a legacy is when your business is doing well enough where you can take care of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. See, once you get the third generation, fourth generation, that's when you have old money. Right now, we're working on having our first generation of money. So we have new money. Now, your people who got generational wealth, that's old money.
Right.
So we're just starting on our new money because we have people now that got an opportunity to become wealthy, and some are millionaires, but they still have new money. So that means after them, if they pass, can the other generation have the business that will help grow them, that they can grow, where they can pass it on to their children and then their children. See, once you get like I say, your third generation and your fourth generation of your money, your business, then you have old money.
Right. Yeah. I feel you on that. Good comments. Let me find this little part that I saw in here. Okay. Okay. Well, here it is. Here, this is what I want to read. For several years, politicians, researchers, journalists, and the public have focused their attention on the growing economic inequality in the United States. Most often, this focus is on income, i.e., the wages earned from a job or from capital gains, rather than on wealth, i.e., the sum of one's assets minus their debts. Income inequality, while stark, pales in comparison to the vast economic divide exposed by examining the wealth disparities. For example, a recent study by the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development found that while the top 10% of income earners in the United States receive almost 3% of the nation's income, the wealthiest 10% own an astounding 76% of the country's wealth. That means that less than a quarter of the nation's wealth is left at the bottom 90% of the American population. So, yeah, Brother Marvin, indeed, thank you. So I'm gonna
Can I comment on something like that?
Yes, sir.
You know, here's the thing about the whole thing when you're talking about people looking at their income.
Right.
And saying, well, I'm making good money. I'm making 70, 80, 100,000, 150, 200,000. But and then you got business out there that's selling up to $1 million of a year. But see, they fail to realize it's not how much money you make.
Right.
It's how much money you keep.
Indeed.
And they don't realize, well, I'm making $150,000. Yeah, but how much are you keeping? If you're living to the level of your income, right, or you have a charge card and you're in debt, then you're living above your means. You have to learn to live below your means, and the rest is what you keep. And until we learn to start looking at how much we're keeping, not how much we're making or how much we have, then we're still going to be at the bottom of the barrel.
Right. All right. So I'm gonna get into Reginald F. Lewis. I mean, of course, he's from Baltimore. There's a museum named after him. This is more newest book. You can holler at me if anybody is interested. If you get copies, this is 2012 edition. So I just wanted to, some of the people that actually had opinions about Reginald F. Lewis. Usually, when I do a book review, I kind of would read the chapters, maybe an excerpt of it, something like that. So I'm just going to read first. Kenneth Charnock, I believe is his name, chairman of American Express. The quality I most admired about Reggie was that he was constantly coming up with big ideas, and he was able to execute those big ideas and transform his dreams into reality. Reggie wanted to be successful and pursue his dreams. He also had the opportunity and the gift to be able to reflect on some of what he achieved. So that's just opening for Kim Chestnut. Now, actually, Don Peebles, who this book, we're going to talk about him too. I remember once watching a televised broadcast of one of Reginald F. Lewis's speeches after he accepted one of many awards and listening as he emphasized that his success was based primarily upon his performance, not his color. And I thought to myself, it didn't matter what color he was. There was no affirmative action, no equal opportunity for him. He simply had to perform. He had to be better. Reginald Lewis was more than an entrepreneur. He was a man who was up to the challenge of breaking barriers. he recognized the importance of great opportunity and had to be transformation. He had to be a transformational figure by inspiring a whole new generation of entrepreneurs, ushering a different business environment in our country. That's been a true business leader, a phrase so often used inappropriately. All right, so what you think about that, Randal? I just opened the doors.
You know, like I say, that is one of my top books on my list of all the hundreds of books I've read. That is a book that is a must read. You know what I liked about Reginald? I think I read his book when it first came out in the 80s. And what I liked about it, he showed that you don't settle. He refused to take no for an answer. He go to a bank and says, okay, I want to borrow $150,000. They would tell him no. He would go back again a little later, and that time he'd ask for $200,000.
Right. Yeah.
And they would tell him no. When he came back again, he asked for $300,000. He never asked for less on the second go round than he did on the first.
Wow.
So he refused to take no.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting the larger amount of money.
Wow. That's like making them pay. Like, all right, you don't want to give me now. I'm gonna take more.
That's right.
I'm gonna take more. So
don't take no for and don't lower your dreams.
Yes, sir.
If your dreams don't scare you, then they aren't big enough.
Wow.
You know, I'm not talking about me, but I won't talk about me. My dreams, I'm building a dream right now because, you know, I will tell you, I just made a move.
Right.
You know, I moved my institute, my institute from Laurel to now I've moved it to DC as of yesterday. And the dream, because I moved it to DC, is so much larger, man. I'll be honest with you, man. Excuse me, it's scaring the hell out of me.
All right.
But it's great that it is, because now I have got to do like Reginald did, just keep going back asking for more. I'm not going to lower my dream. I'm going to make it larger. I'm not going to let no turn me around, turn me down.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Absolutely, brother. So I just want to, you know, give people a little bit more, and then we can get into.
Now he was he was the first black billionaire.
Right.
Billionaire.
Yes, sir.
Now he learned business, and the man was brilliant. I mean, when I say he's brilliant, this is a book you must read if you want to learn about business. And how to build and grow a business. And what it takes. And you must have the mindset and the power in your mind not to let nothing turn you around. Because he refused, and he bought business after business after business.
Yes, interesting. And what some people fail to mention, but you know, of course, those that are in the know, he was from Baltimore. I wrote a couple of notes.
That's right.
He went to Dunbar High School. Went to did he go to Morgan? I can't recall, but
I went to
Tennessee. Okay, I know he worked in Baltimore for a law firm. Went to Tennessee State. Okay. I read it some years ago. I know he worked.
It's been so long. I remember just the power part of the book. That man is powerful.
Right. And he worked for Piper and Moran, and he rose through the law firm. He was one of the top money makers. Well, actually, that was during an internship at when he was still in law school. And he said, and I was, you know, just going through how while in law school, he was, you know, last year law students, they are prepared. And he went directly and had a practice, but it was a partnership. But he didn't do it in Baltimore. He started in New York.
Right.
So that was really.
But you know, one thing that he did that was really, really great. As brilliant as he was, and that man was a brilliant man. He would never let no one with less education or someone didn't know as much as him. He wouldn't let them belittle him to a point of where he would think less. Wow. He would, when we went to borrow money and told him no, he knew he was smarter than them, but he didn't hold it against them.
Yes. All right. Jamal Creech just mentioned how he was a corporate lawyer, right? He turned into a venture capitalist.
Right.
And that's the thing with, you know, understanding, you know, the markets in the sense of knowing how to partner, for instance. And some people mention some of these things, you know, at the museum, you know, being more of an entrepreneur in a sense, like not just a solopreneur. You
right,
know, in a
right,
sense,
right.
But leveraging established institutions, for instance, institutions that have been around, they have a track record and traction in the market, and leveraging the influence as well as the institutional power and the cash that they already have.
Well, being where you are right now and growing your ideas and your businesses does not mean that's where you're going to end up, because he didn't go out to be a venture capitalist at first. He didn't go to be that.
Right.
But he grew into that.
Yeah, yeah.
So where you start does not mean where you're going to end up. Wow. Because look at me, I started out a street vendor. And so 40 years later, I'm the president of the Millionaire Mastermind Institute.
Right.
Well, I didn't start out as a street vendor to be the president and owner of an institute. But look at where all of my experiences and years of different businesses has led me.
Wow, wow, wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So that was like Reginald Lewis, where he started out and where he ended up. But it was all for the better as he went along this journey that grew him and gave him a larger universe to conquer.
Great, great, great. All right, yeah. So that's some good stuff. I had a lot of little stuff in here that he did in terms of law school and how his work ethic was. A lot of people talked about his work ethic and just how his standard of excellence was just above par.
Well, he emphasized that he was not a black businessman. He was a businessman that was black. Yeah, which is a difference. Right. It's a tremendous difference.
Yeah.
Than saying you're a black business person rather than a person who in that business happens to be black.
And what's interesting, and this is where, I mean, and I feel even, for instance, I always, when people want to label you, like, all right, you're a speaker, you're an author, or, and I'm just like, look, I mean, you can't stay still. If you are growing, that there's limits, for instance, and this is what he understood. It's like you can only talk to so many people, but eventually, you have to learn, certain business principles.
You can't let your title be you.
Right. Amen.
Because you're an author doesn't make you. That's it.
Right.
Because you own a business. That's it. No, it's not.
Yes, sir.
Because you are a human being first, and if your attitude and your gratitude are not right, I don't care who or what you are.
Right. Yeah. Let me just before we get on to Brother Peebles, I wanted to spend 20 minutes on each of these three great giants. There's several individuals in this book that wrote more of a forward, if you will, comment type of endorsement of the book. But let me read through some of the chapter titles. Kid from East Baltimore, and that's what they call it. Lewis Demon Work Ethic. Called it Demon Work Ethic. The high school years. His high school at Dunbar. I think he played football star, quarterback, football team. He said, "I'm going to be a millionaire." He said that at Virginia State. That was chapter title. No application needed. Breaking down the barriers, breaking down the doors of Harvard Law.
Yeah,
that was interesting. And I believe it was. I'm not sure if he was the president of that law review, but which President Obama, former President Obama, was. But building his own law practice. That's a chapter in the book. The years of struggle. Interesting. Masterful man. Winning his wife, Leota Nicholas, and then a chapter I was not ready. Then talk about Drexel, and then the McCall deal, the piloting McCall 90-1, leveraging a deal. Then the biggest deal of all, the $1 billion LBO of Beatrice.
When he bought Beatrice,
right? And
they said that it was impossible, that he couldn't do it. When they told him that he couldn't do it, they told the wrong one, baby.
Yeah,
I mean, to read. I mean, I'm serious. You got just. I mean, I can't praise that book enough. I'm truly serious.
Yes, sir.
It is that great of a book.
I know. We could probably spend an hour on
man. Talking about why should white guys have all the fun.
Yeah. So just everybody. That's the first book. that I wanted to, touch bases with and touch upon is Russian White Guys Have All Fun. I read it, maybe some years ago. So
now, when he passed, he was just 50, I think 52.
Yes.
And he died from brain cancer.
Yeah, right, correct. Yes. That's correct. So, maybe it might have been an aneurysm. Yes. Next one on the list, we're going to go in order from our great ancestor, to the elder of our last two authors. And this is Donahue Peebles. For those who may not know, the Peebles principle. He was and operated in the DC area. Okay. Let me just read his brief bio. At the tender age of 19, Donahue Peebles entered the business jungle with no resources beyond his native smarts, a decent education and powerful drive to succeed. 7 years later, he became a multimillionaire. Today, with a net worth of $250 million. Now, according to some numbers, this book was written some time ago, so
he's worth more than 250 million now. Right. You're talking about 250 million plus.
Yeah. He commands a real estate empire stretching from the boulevards of Washington, D.C. to sparkling beaches of Miami, to the glitzing strips of Las Vegas. I didn't know that.
He owns hotels.
Yeah.
These major hotels.
Right. How did this determined young entrepreneur achieve such spectacular success so quickly? Can others learn his secret to emulate his accomplishments? Can you? Part the art of the deal. Part why should white guys have all the fun? You talking about the Donald Trump book, Art of the Deal. The Peebles principle distills the lessons Mr. Peebles has learned on his journey from congressional page, because he started with working with John Conyers as a page, to CEO of the largest Black-owned real estate development firm in the nation. This Christmas for principles can help any motivated entrepreneur get from dirt poor to the filthy rich in a hurry. In entertaining first-person accounts of his most important deals, Peebles reveals how each transaction required him to find new resources within himself to ensure its success. Through this process, he discovered variable principles that would aid him in all of his future endeavors. Some lessons are motivational and inspirational. Many are hardball business how-tos that apply in any industry and any type of transaction. So it's very informative. Let me kind of browse through some of these chapters here. From ground zero to the first deal, and I'll just elaborate, knowing that he had a more of a business tax. Did I write it down? I'll look it up, but let me just go through this first. His first deal, and then they talk about the Washington Marriott, the North Capitol Street, and then he talk about the Marion Barry stigma that they had. But I'll read a little bit. I'm not gonna try to read.
Does he still own that Marriott down on his 8th Street Northwest?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he.
I know. I think that was the one that he had. I can't remember exactly.
All right. Let's just give some principles. The basic for success in any business are threefold. Learn the industry, right? You can't go into something you don't know, right? Get into the mix and go forward in full of confidence. But that only takes you as far as the first deal. What you need after that is something very, very important, and it's not money. You won't have money anyway, not if you started like I did with nothing. All right, so and he talks about relationships in this as well. But can you just add what you think in terms of the value of creating solid relationships?
Well, now that's one of the most important things in any business. I mean, you can't let an attitude, because an attitude will different between you making it and not making it is your attitude. Now, something you said on that really registered with me was when he realized he didn't know everything, and he said he make mistakes. But here's the thing: mistakes give you more education than success does. Every day, you're supposed to ask yourself a question of what happened to me today and what did I learn from it? I don't care if it's something good or something bad. You got to realize, see, he realized things that happened didn't happen to him. It happened for him. Big difference. 2 makes you a victim. 4 makes you a student. If it happens to you, then you're a victim. But if it happens for you, then it makes you a student. You want to know what's the purpose of what happened for me? What am I getting from what happened for me? So it makes a difference between 2 and 4. And quit being a 2 victim and become a 4 victim. Everything happens for you.
Wow. All right, let me kind of get into a little bit about him. We got minutes. My first big deal made me a multimillionaire. Before that, my net worth was similar to that of most people. What I could generate in wages by providing services. Okay, but I never took my eyes off the prize. It only took me a little more than half my 20s to achieve my goal of becoming a multimillionaire by age of 30. I started in my chosen profession of real estate by becoming a residential appraiser and then a residential sales agent. I was 19 when I started. The fact that it was real estate was not important. What is important is that regardless of the business you're in, you have to learn it. And the best way to learn it is to get into the mix. I learned the business from ground zero in the trenches. There are lots of ways to go to get into the real estate business. One way to learn is like a Burn Channer, a young man who now works for me, who got his MBA from Wharton. He started as an intern with us, a bright young college kid, and got his foot in the door that way. That's one way to learn a business, through formal education. I didn't have the educational background. Let me just let people know this, like, because there's an article that is circulating where Mr. Peebles, who, let me say that his net worth is around $700 million, according to some sources, but that he's talking about college education is not necessary. That's the article, right? So
I'm gonna comment on it when you finish.
Yeah, let me mention this here. All right. I didn't have the educational background. I also wanted to start at an early age and get into the business on the ground floor. I didn't get to work in a nice environment like the one we're providing for Burn. Instead, I went to work doing home appraisals for my mother, who was a real estate professional. Then for another appraisal firm, for the most part, we did the housing appraisals and HUD and VA. VA and the Veteran Affairs was more middle class. HUD was for the lower income. We would go into these areas that were really, really rough. That was in DC, and this is where I learned the business. Today, I have projects lots of other places around the country, including Miami, San Fran, Detroit, and Las Vegas. But it was Washington where I still own buildings that I honed my skills. It was Washington too, where I learned the art of politics. All right, so he was, like I said, he was a page, he was a congressional page, and then he started getting involved in Marion Barry's campaign, organizing events for him. And he said, my day came when I had a meet and greet for the mayor event in the party room, one of my apartment buildings. Gathering was for residents of the area in Ward 3, predominantly white district, and was among the most affluent. We served refreshments, and I gave a speak and introduced him. It cost $1,000, and I got a couple other people to co-sponsor it with me. So he co-sponsored an event, a fundraiser for Marion Barry, and it talks a little bit, because I read this. I read all these books cover to cover. So, I just can't recall everything, but, he co-sponsored a fundraiser and got into the Barry. And of course, coming up here, Mayor Marion Barry, he created opportunities.
I think that's where I met him at, through Marion Barry and Marion Barry's campaigns. And that's how I met that gentleman. But, one thing he said that really people got to realize, he said something you read at the beginning just now that was very, very powerful. When he said college education isn't necessarily necessary.
Right.
See, here's the thing about a formal education. A formal education may give you a job or may keep you working. But a self-education will make you wealthy. Because people don't realize once you graduate college or high high school. That's when your studies and reading really began. Now, at my age, I just celebrated my 67th birthday Saturday.
Right.
Saturday's my birthday, 67.
Thank you.
And you know, man, right today, I still study 4 hours a day. How can I teach you if I don't know?
Right.
See, that self-education is what gives you.
Ingrained.
Because things are changing. You can't still do yesterday's system in today. That's like me telling you, hey man, I want you to call me. You say, okay man, I'm gonna call you. What's your number? I said, here man, beat me. You think I'm crazy if I tell you to beat me. I'll be so out of date.
Yes.
Right? So you have to study and learn every day. Your education truly begins once you graduate, because 80% of what you learn in school is non-valid. I mean, it has no value. You aren't going to use it. When I got into real estate, and I went through this course that was hard, man. I mean, it was hard. 80% of what we learned, I never ever used. Only 20% that I used.
Wow.
Same thing with your college degree. Do you know that 65% of college graduates
don't work in there.
Do not work in their field?
Wow.
Now think about that, 65%. So that means 3.5 out of every 10 people that graduate are in their field. 6.5%.
What about that other one that says that people change their careers like over a 30, 40-year period, like 7 to 8, 10 times, something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting.
So I mean, you know, but you got to education. Education is very important.
Right. Agreed. Yeah.
Very. But here's the thing about it. Knowledge is not power. Information is not power. Only implemented information and implemented knowledge is power.
Implemented. Hashtag. Implemented. Repeat that for everybody.
Knowledge is not power.
Yeah.
Education is not power. Only implemented education and knowledge is power. To know it and not use it, it has no value. Right.
Wow. That's powerful point. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So that's important. So
if you don't want to study, if you don't want to learn and make yourself grow every day, keep your job. Because if you become an entrepreneur, you better change with the time. Because it is a technological age. If you are not in or using technology, you are 5 years behind someone else who is, and you will never, ever catch up.
Wow.
I just saw a thing, something I tell when I'm on stage and I'm teaching. You know, where I woke up one night, it's about 10 o'clock, and I'm online trying to do something. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I looked at my watch and I said, dang, God, it's 10 o'clock. The person I need is sleep, you know, and I can't wake them up. So now I gotta wait till I wake them up in the morning to take them to kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? But them kids, they got it.
Right. Yeah, let me read a little intro. We got a couple more. My early years taught me numerous lessons, among them that you must believe in yourself, that you must put yourself into the mix, and you have to play politics in whatever business or industry you become involved in. Those years also taught me that it really does matter whom you know and whom you help and who helps you along the way.
You just said it earlier, relationships, brother. Relationships.
Yeah. What do you think about that? You know, people say it's about who you know and who knows you.
That's very true. But see, now you got to realize you're going to grow. I got a gentleman now that I went 20 years and didn't see. Right now, man, he's one of the most intricate parts of my institute. Back then, 20 years ago, we were both in 2 different fields.
Oh, wow.
And now, 20 years later, his expertise is what I need. What I do is what he needs to help put his expertise out there. So together, man, we're a team. So you got to build relationships. When they say never burn a bridge, but you don't know when you got to go back and cross it. Someone may make you angry today, but in 5 years, that same person that made you angry is going to be one going to make you a million.
Oh, right. Yes, beautiful. All right, so see, these are some of the principles that he that Peebles talks about. Peebles ground rules: always believe in yourself, master your business, right? Yeah. Always believe in yourself, master your business, put yourself into the mix, right? Protect yourself from sharks. What is he name?
Oh, they out there, baby. They out there. They out
there. Right. Be your own boss in your profession.
you know, Oprah said something one time that made a lot of sense to me, and I stuck to it, and I stuck to it, and I still do today. No one signs my checks but me. I'm my boss. Right. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I am a terrible, terrible employee. But I am one of the best bosses. Yeah. Everybody ain't meant to be. You have to learn to be. See, it's how you treat people. Right. Because the better I treat my employees, the more happier they're going to be and willing to do the work. But you tick them off. And then they're going to do less. Like they say, what they say, you do more than you paid for until you get paid for more than you do. So you always do more than you pay for. Until that day comes, baby, that you're going to get paid for more than you do. And see, that's when you know you got success. But it takes work, sacrifice. It takes sacrifices. So you can't be afraid of it. But you got to look at every day and what you're learning. Because if you don't realize that you're learning, see, you got a lot of people out there that died at the age of 25. And I'm buried until the 80. You know? Right. Yeah. Yes, sir. All right. He said, be prepared to lose everything. And that's for sure. That truly is for sure. Yeah. You gotta be prepared to go at your goals and your Look
dreams.
At your average millionaire out there, and I can name several that have filed bankruptcy more times than once. Yeah. Your number 45. Right. That's about 9 times. Right. Walt Disney, they filed 6.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So because you don't succeed today, all that's doing is preparing you for your tomorrow. Right. As long as you look at the lesson that you learned, that's what's going to keep you going and teach you. Or the lesson you've learned along the way. It didn't happen It didn't happen to you. Right. It happened for you. Right. All you got to look and see the lesson.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a beautiful point. So let's we got about 20 minutes left. Let's get on to our last and our final brother here, and that's Dr. Randal Pinkett. And he's done 2 of his books here, Campus CEO and Black Faces in White Places. Yeah. So he's done an awesome job. And
tell people how most people might know him.
Yes, so most people may know Dr. Randal Pinkett from
The Apprentice.
Yes. Yeah.
He won it, and Trump tried to take it from him. Right. So we can't give it to you. You want it, but we can't give it to you alone. So we can't give it to you alone. Yeah, we got to have a co-winner. And he told us that it's not going to happen. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna stand up, and if you don't give me what I deserve, what I'm going to tell the world, you ain't gonna. What did he do? Right. He gave it to him. He won it. Right. But they didn't want him to be the black person to win. I mean, to hear him tell that story, and you know what? The first time I met him, I was impressed because the brother has. I mean, he doesn't talk as brilliant as he is. He does not talk above you. He make it where his story and what he done, what happened to him. It could be anybody. Right. See, it's not always the book smart that makes you. A lot of times it's the common sense and just the self-taught, the studies that you do on your own that's going to be different than you making or not making. Like that's what I tell you. Self-education will make you wealthy. Where a general education will only maybe give you a job or keep you working.
Wow. Yeah. So let me just, and I'm beginning to encourage college students to read the Campus CEO book, because we got to get them ready. We got to get them in the right mindset and, have an attitude, even, if, for instance, you don't necessarily gain all the skills in college, but you got to get into that mindset early so that you don't come out per se and feel lost, because that's what's going on. So yeah, so Dr. Randal Pinkett, actually Earl Graves mentioned this. They signed this book for him, and he said, because the campus CEO is a reflection of my life and life of others, it represents more than a book to me. It's a tribute to the noteworthy efforts of countless men and women who contributed both directly and indirectly to its content and its ethos. So while I recognize several of these individuals below, these acknowledgement about affection of all of you. So you do a little acknowledgement, and then about the author, BCT, CEO BCT, which is in New Jersey. And so several different degrees in electrical engineering and computer technology. So yeah, go ahead.
Now we've talked about 3 books today, and people say, well, I've never heard these people. All know who they are. And I'm not getting cruel or mean to nobody, but ignorance is a choice. It's a choice. Wow. With the internet today and with Google, ignorance is a choice.
Wow.
Because you can go online and go to YouTube and study and listen to these great people because they're there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me people. Now here's what the lady said to me one time. I was on stage trying to embarrass me. She said, "Why should we believe you? How do you know all of this stuff?" So I looked at her and I told her, I said, "I tell you what, the question that you asked me was backwards. You asked me how do I know all this stuff? The question should be, how come you don't?"
Wow.
Right. Don't ask me how I know. And what I want you to do, anything I'm telling you, when I'm gonna say teaching, whenever I'm teaching, I always tell you, don't believe nothing I say. Go out there and prove me wrong. Study to prove me wrong, because in your studies trying to prove me wrong, you're going to get a greater education than I could have given you. Because what you got to study and what you're going to learn trying to prove me wrong is going to be beyond what I got the time to teach you in the period of time that you're before me. So, like I say, don't believe what I say. Go ahead and do your research and prove me wrong. Just to prove yourself, I was right all the time.
Yeah. So let me just read some of these chapters here that he has. So part 1 is starting your business. All campuses are not created equal.
Yes.
What business should you launch and when? Put it on paper. Creating a powerful business plan. Structure, support success, laying a strong foundation. High tech and low cost, gaining the technology edge. Talk about financing, show me the money, raising capital, financial statements 101, understand the basic of finance. Let me get to part 3 here. Balancing business and education for those that, because I feel like whether you're in school or not, you should be taking time out for learning.
Oh, no doubt.
And really reading, as well as sitting, personal reflecting on what your skills are and how you, for instance, have positioned yourself, and what your SWOTs, your opportunities, your strengths, your threats, SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. What's your opportunities that you can take full advantage of? So that's important. So let me I'll let you see.
I love that saying you got on your shirts, and people don't realize how powerful it is.
Yeah.
Those 3 words: success leaves clues.
Yeah, indeed.
But thing is, so does failure.
Wow. Yeah.
Because you cannot get to the bridge. Get to the avenue of success until you a few times cross that bridge of failure.
Right. Amen.
And see, people don't realize failure. See, failure is not who you are.
Failure is not who you are.
It's only an event. Just like yesterday.
Wow. Yeah.
It's only passing through, baby. It ain't here to stay.
Right.
It's just passing through. So if you don't succeed in something, it's not going to be there forever. It's just passing through.
Right.
And God is, that's the way God wants you to learn that lesson that he gave you from where you didn't reach that plateau that you were seeking. Look at it.
Yeah. Yes.
And realize it's a lesson.
Yes.
You know, you don't ask yourself, why? Why me? Why me? The question you ask yourself is, why not me? Why did God give me this problem, this issue, or this failure at this moment? Because that's the lesson that God wanted you to learn, that he sees that's going to benefit you in your future.
Amen. Amen. All right. All right. All right. So part 4. I think part 3. Balance business and education. Building a winning team. Tapping a brilliant workforce. That's what I'm doing. Working with some of the Bowie students now. Take it. It's yours. Leveraging campus resources. Man, I got to get this young guy. Got to get this book. He ain't get it yet. But type A. Maintaining good grades and a healthy focus. Networking works. Profiting from professors and mentors. So I got to get him.
Something you said on that was very powerful. When he said, what's it about business and business and
education?
No, right here where you just read. Something about business and
maintaining good grade. Balancing business and
education. Right. Now that's saying that you got to take time to do your business, right? But you also got to take time to study.
Yeah. Yes.
You got to take time to learn. If you just going to do your business and don't take time to study to learn how to improve your business, right, you're going to stay right where you are.
Right. And that's where I am. I'm really, evaluating, just where, I am in terms of knowing, for instance, I mean, reading these books, are great, but it's like, okay, well,
implementing it next.
Yeah. And the tangibility, understanding, for instance, there's the supply and demand. I mean, you only can fit into certain areas. And sometimes I was just reading Lisa Nichols' book, The Abundance.
Okay, I haven't got to that one yet.
Oh man, this is my first one. I haven't read any of hers, but this is the first one of hers I read. But she talked about the benefits of having a multiple income stream. And I always just kind of put, for instance, business, in the same category, but she kind of put it like, okay, although you may have a business, you still can make money doing the other things. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Because you gotta eat.
Right.
You gotta eat.
Right. Yes.
But here's the thing about here's something about brother about you that I really admire. People say, well, I read all the time. This place, I read 2 or 3 books a month. Yeah, but she loves to read murder novels and love novels and magazines. Right. It's not that you read. Right. It's what you read.
Amen. Yeah.
Now, look at what you read.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right? Yeah. And you always putting knowledge, someone else's knowledge in your mind. I teach one of the things, and they were teaching me the other night, because they roasted me the other night. They talked about me, man, and I loved every second of it. But they were talking about where I teach BDI, which is borrow, duplicate, and improve upon to fit your situation. You aren't the only one that's doing what you're doing. So you borrow what someone else did, and then you duplicate it, and then you improve upon to fit how you want to do it. I'm not the first one to teach I teach. Right. I borrow from watching other people and I listen. Yes. See, the only time I'm an educator is when I'm on stage. Outside of that, I'm a student.
Wow. That's powerful point. So
look at what you read, my brother, and look at where it's taking you. Yeah. I mean, see, you're still yet somewhat young, and you are.
Yes, sir.
But you're preparing yourself for when you get into your senior years. You will be considered a very, very wise man. Right. See, wisdom comes with age. There is no such thing as a person being wise at 30, 40, and 50 years old. Wisdom comes with age. See, it comes with experience. Experience gives you wisdom. And you cannot get but so much experience until you have lived.
Right. Great. Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome point. Awesome point. Yeah. So we got about 10 more minutes, and this is Dr. Randal Pinkett's. I don't know if it's his final. He's working on some other.
Oh, he's always
projects,
going.
of
Yeah,
course,
he's
doing some major things, but Black Faces in White Places, and you definitely can get these books. But and let me just really quickly go through some of the chapters here. Intro, and he talks about not getting Trump. Randall's nationally televised Black Faces in White Places moment.
Yes. Yeah, that was when he was on The Apprentice.
Right. All right, the four, he calls it the 4 dimensions of Black Faces in White Places. All right, next, a roadmap for redefining the game and reshaping America. 10 game-changing strategies to achieve success and find greatness. The learning game, America's story, United States and race. The learning game, learning the game, that's the chapter. Learning what the game is about.
Most definitely important. You better learn the game.
Establish a strong identity and purpose. Wow. Yeah.
You got to know your purpose. I mean, you got to look at it and realize that your whole life is a purpose. And you got to grow more and more into the purpose that is going to best suit you and serve the world. But see, when you live your purpose, it's not for you. It's for those that enter your life space. And that's what gives you your success. Those who you help. See, everything, your business is not going to grow and be until your business has value that it gives other people value. You can't sell somebody something. They're not going to buy your product. They don't see no value in it. Would you go buy a size 8 shoe if you wore a 10?
Right.
That 8 shoe has no value to you because you need a 10.
Right.
So that's what it boils down to. The value. Your business has to give people value. Don't ask yourself, well, why come nobody's buying? How are you selling it? Are you showing them the value?
Wow.
You know, when the first thing that happened to me when I started vending, man, I went and bought this band. I went and bought all this stuff. I said, oh man, they go buy this. I like this. I like this. I like this. And then I learned something when it wasn't selling. I bought what I like, not what the public wanted. So you got to put out there what they want. You got to give them value. And you have to learn how to sell. And here's the thing too. If the hardest thing that most entrepreneurs, well, I can't be on stage speaking. I got news for you. If you are an entrepreneur,
right,
you are a public speaker because you are broke or you're a broke entrepreneur.
Right.
You're a public speaker. If you're an entrepreneur, you better know how to speak to the public.
Right. Yeah.
You can't sell something if you can't talk.
Right. Yes.
A closed mouth and a closed mind will never get paid.
That's right. Yes. It did.
And they tease me, I laugh because I tell them, I've never seen a mic that I didn't like.
Right. Sounds good. Yeah. So that's good. I mean, so Dr. Randal Pinkett, he's doing, and he has some partners in place with BCT, doing some awesome things. Oh, let me get to the identity and purpose for African Americans, self-determination. Your identity as an asset and your purpose as a source of power. And next, interdependent strategies of 1 and 2. Interdependent strategies. Speak about, many people talk about being self-determined, for instance, but I use the example of, take for instance the hurricanes. And it's unfortunate what has happened. And we can do but so much preparation in life. But and George Fraser, he always adds on to that about the story of Jesus and how what did he say? He says he said I couldn't do it by myself. Something I can't recall that, but he used the understanding that we must work through each other. There's no such thing as, you're not an island. You're going to need a team, the mastermind group. Think You're Rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs is sung by can't think of her name now, who sings People Who Need People. Barbara Streisand.
Okay.
Sings the song People Who Need People are the luckiest people in the world. Once you realize you can't do it alone,
yes, sir.
Because if you think you can do it alone, go out there and don't sell nothing because you thought you could do it by yourself. You can't support you. You can't buy your inventory enough to make you successful. So people who need people and realize it are the luckiest people in the world.
Wow, this has been phenomenal conversation. Everybody, thank everybody for tuning in, Brother Dwayne.
Can I tell them about my book? You
oh yeah, no, we gonna let you plug, Brother Sylvia Queen. Thank you, Sister Navita, Sister Dominica, Carla, Latoya, Frankie, Brother Keith, Melissa, Tanika, my cousin chimed in. Thank you, Brother Jamal, Sharita, Q Love. Sister Q, Brother
and we want y'all to share
this.
Hit share, y'all.
Right? Yeah,
share this out. Hit share, because that way you helping this brother get his show out there, and then you showing the world my brilliance. Hey man, but y'all got to share this, because every time you give a blessing, life will give you tenfold. And when you hit the button share, life owes you tenfold, and you're going to get it.
Yes. So go ahead and plug away, bro.
Y'all know I'm the president of Millionaire Mastermind Institute. I've also written a book called Climbing Success Mountain, because you know that your life is a mountain to climb, and it's called Climbing Success Mountain. And you can get it. Go to mminstitute.info. It's there. So Climbing Success Mountain, written by William Murray, and find out. It's about you. There's only 2 characters in the book. You and Mr. Success. And you will find out why you are the most important person in there, along with Mr. Success. And that's the reason I wrote it in the person that is you. Because your life is like a book. You just got to, what it is, your life is like a book. You have to make it interesting and a top seller. So your life is like a book. Just do chapter, page, chapter. So that's how you gotta look at it.
All right. So all right, brother. You gave out your website?
Oh, www.mminstitute.info.
All right.
Or call the Institute at 240-619-2019. And as of yesterday, my institute has moved from Laurel to Southeast Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So you'll get more information when you go online.
All right.
On my Facebook page.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Haki Amin, the Success Scholar. Look me up on YouTube, Twitter, all of that, Instagram, Success Scholar 1 on several of them. Holla. I'm out.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. President. All right.